Well, good evening again on the 20th day of February 23. I say again, but you might be confused. I haven't loaded anything at all from today. There's a couple of reasons for that actually. There's one is, well, to put it bluntly, I can't be bothered tonight. I've had a busy day. But that's not a cop-out for me. I've done a lot of talking to the camera. Probably, yeah, quite a lot actually. And but I need to put it together in order, because I think if I started popping things up randomly, it would just create confusion. So perhaps if you look out for the 20th of February loads during the remainder of the week, they will be in some order. The first one's really just about gardening, and then it moves on. It's nothing terribly exciting. Well, for me it is. For me at this end, it's fairly monumental in some respects, but rather than talk too much of it, we got a sip of tea before it was cold. Although that's got nothing to do with you. I was sitting thinking. I do a lot of thinking, you see. You do a lot of thinking when you don't have your mind distracted by social media, or indeed the worst of all, television. I understand, it's if you come in from your day's work. I've been there. I've had long days where there's intensity of the workload and the commute, and just coming in and getting things organised in this house. For example, winter nights I used to have to come home and didn't get home till midnight almost, and had to start putting this fire on. It was a very tiresome time in my life. It was very draining, really hard times, and well, hard times create good character, don't they? It's very true. So although we mumble and groan about our certain things in our life on a given day, we should also take more time to offer gratitude for the day that we've had, or a day that's about to come. Because it is a gift, isn't it? And it's entirely up to yourself how you use the time given to you on this planet. I know that I've wasted a lot of time myself. Well, commuting on a bus wastes a lot of time, doesn't it? And unlike maybe like a train journey where you can maybe learn a language or something, because there's, but if you're travelling by a bus in my county, well, the bus is normally full of low vibrational people, so certainly not the right atmosphere for trying to learn Afrikaans or something like that, But that said and done, I was sitting thinking. This is what I do often. And probably one of the reasons I haven't approached the computer to do any YouTube loads this evening, apart from this one possibly, because I will have to be a bit of an introduction, you see. But simply sitting thinking doesn't mean you're bored. It does not mean that you're vacant in the mind. It doesn't mean that you're gawking into space. It means that your mind is settled and travelling at its own given pace. And it's very good for the mind to stop chatting. There is a difference between relaxed mind and chatting mind. That said and done, I was thinking about, my extensive library books, not library books, Andrew, my extensive book, start again, my extensive collection of books in my bookcase. My bookcase is not a library, but I suppose you could call it a miniature library. But I thought about a book that I hadn't looked at for a long time. I was sitting here a few moments ago. And because I've never really had a television, I did spend much of my time reading. In fact, I think I spent probably about 2 years of my life just reading. Not long, well, after I had sorted this house out a little when I first moved in, of course. But I spent a couple of years just reading. And then things just, well, the book I'm talking about is a book of Proverbs, and if I just open the book at random, what is this? Let me just have a check on this. Turn out your money when you hear the cuckoo, and you'll have money in your purse till the cuckoos comes again. Interesting. You see, I've just learned something from reading there. So in the month of April or May, depending on the weather conditions, and well, I don't know if Air France still operate, but cuckoos used to come north by Air France. That's the flight carrier, of course. I've never seen an Air France jet for a very long time, so I think they must be disbanded or something. But so the cuckoo, I can remember. I always remember where I see my first cuckoo. Last year I was with Up and Down. Not see the first cuckoo, I do apologise, but I hear the first cuckoo. So that was on the 3rd of June. And I must say, Up and Down was very observant, because I had considered the cuckoo to be in a very different location from where she had suggested. And after a second bout or third bout of the cuckoo call, it transpires that she was correct after all. And I thought, very well done, Up and Down. You certainly gained top marks for this, for your observations, your audible observations. But so this is something I've just learned here. If you take your money out of your pockets when you hear the cuckoo, then you will put them back in again, or also the money back into your pockets, or your purse, or wallet, whatever it is. Then what it's trying to suggest here is that for the whole year you will have money. You won't be in lack. So this is interesting, because these proverbs are not just written down because someone decides to write something foolish. They have been gathered together in sort of folklore and conversation over decades or more in regards to instances like perhaps a couple of people have met in an alehouse and have said, I want to tell you a little story. And it's about a cuckoo that was cuckooing in the yard last May. Oh yes. Well, I don't know what I was doing. I haven't thought process, but I emptied all my pockets out, including a few guinea that I had sitting. You had a few spare guinea. Well, they weren't spare. They were full. Well, doesn't matter, does it? But the thing is, for the whole year, I felt very. Well, I felt that I was in the red for the rest of the year. I wasn't struggling financially at all. Well, that's very strange you say that, because just a couple of years ago the same situation happened to me. I had 2 shillings and sixpence, and I put it on the wall, and when the crew had the cuckoo. And for the rest of the year I was very flush indeed. So I understand that these sayings are not just made up overnight. There's something collective about them. I'll take another one from a different page. Where shall we go? Oh, here's a very fitting one. Just caught this, it's line 2 up here. Creditors have better memories than debtors. Well, there you go, up and down. Well, let's not be negative, Andrew. Let's think of something else. Very fitting here, this one as well. 4th one down. Necessity never made a good bargain. Well, that's very true, isn't it? Have you ever been gasping for a cigarette? And but you can't afford a packet of 20. Or maybe it's tobacco. You can't afford the rolling tobacco, so you say to someone, could I buy a couple of cigarettes off you? Yes, they'll be £1 each. £1? Yes. Do you want them or don't you want them? But they'll cost you £1 each. And your brain's going crazy for it. Your mind says, don't be a fool, you're not going to pay £2 for 2 cigarettes. The other part of your brain is saying, well, you're going to go without, you're going to go without. And you look into your purse and you've only got £4. You realise you won't have enough for cigarettes, so you say, oh just give me them. And you spend £4 on 4 cigarettes. So that sums up that very well, doesn't it? Necessity never made a good bargain. So I was thinking of my own one tonight. Well, I was thinking of several, but I won't bore you with them. But I thought to myself, I was quoting Proverbs, and I said, well, never throw a duck unless you're expecting 4. That's even better, actually. That would be very bewildering, wouldn't it? Never throw a duck unless you're expecting 4. So if I was teaching and I was in charge of the classroom, and I'd said to them, okay, today we're going to talk about Proverbs. And everybody would look at you, what the fuck is he talking about? And do any of you know any Proverbs? Everybody stares blankly. Not so much because they don't know the answer, but as I recall from being in classes, it generally meant that you were a little hesitant to blurt out something in case you were wrong. Or if you were knowingly correct. You didn't want to blurt it out either in case the rest of your classmates thought you were a fucking know-all. So it was very difficult. This is the education system. I don't want to go into another train of thought here, but I'm just saying that that suppressed education system, where you're not allowed to say something without being ridiculed. So, for example, does anyone know what a proverb is? Or could you give me an example of a proverb? And no one wants to speak for the reasons I've just outlined. But in the proper education system, somebody should be able to say, yes, I know what a proverb is. Well, go on then, tell us, smarty pants. No, go on, tell us. And once they tell you, the whole class is in complete stitches because it's got fuck all to do with it. But no, the class shouldn't laugh. The teacher should be mature enough to say, not quite, but I can see where you're coming from. Well done. Very well done. But no, it's not what I was looking for. Do you understand? So that people are not discouraged to talk, but it's the opposite in the state system. They definitely don't like you to pipe up and have any, opinions or thoughts yourself. Andrew, you're really going away from the point here. Oh yeah. So, proverb. Let's get another proverb. You don't want to make up your own ones. Well, I do actually. These are kind of weather ones, which is very true. Cloudy mornings turn to clear evenings. Well, how often have you seen that? See what I'm saying? That these things are not just put together willy-nilly. These are actually a situation where this must have occurred. Well, it has, for centuries. And anyone who lives or works outdoors, not lives outdoors, works outdoors, mostly would quite easily say, yes, that's very true. Cloudy morning, clear evening. Rain at 7, dry by 11. It's very true as well. How many times have you got out of your bed in the morning for breakfast? It's pissing and rain. And you think, what a miserable day, I'm not going anywhere. And then it comes 11 o'clock, you go, oh, we could have gone after all, for goodness sake. Well, stop listening to the Met Office. They fucking ruin everyone's day, won't they? They should put that as a proverb. Don't listen to the fucking Met Office. But I was thinking about my own proverbs would be something along the lines of no point in having a clock if you can't tell whose it is. You thought I was going to say no point in having a clock if you can't tell the time. Is that actually a proverb? Possibly it is. But it's probably a good one too. No point in having a clock if you can't tell the time. Very good. I don't know if people can tell the time now. I don't know if they get taught to, I really don't. I have no idea. I don't see anyone wearing wristwatches anymore. I know they've got these bloody electronic devices which flash up the time if they need it, but is it quite meaningless to these people? They might just say these 4 figures and think, I don't even know what that's meant to represent. Understand me? But, so if you said to someone, excuse me, what time is it? They would just shrug their shoulders. They wouldn't know. I'm sure that would be the answer. They just don't know what time it is. I've always had a wristwatch. I like a wristwatch. Remember my very first wristwatch actually looks like the one I've got just now, but a much smaller model. It was a Timex. but it was very fitting for my wrist. My wristwatch had slipped down actually. Yes, the face was much smaller, but I always felt like a real gentleman with my wristwatch. I'd be about 8-year-old, I think. And I remember getting it for Christmas from my grandmother. And I said, "Oh, Granny, that's wonderful. I really like this, you know." She said, "Well, don't break it." Which just doesn't give you much encouragement. Another kind of state school kind of comment, you know. But it's like giving someone a gift, and then the first thing you say to them is, you know, "Don't break it." I'm sorry, Granny, but I mean, she's a wonderful person. She really was. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm just thinking that that's what she said to me when I opened that present. But I did look after that watch, and I had it for years and years and years. And if I was to hazard a guess, I think I've still got it somewhere, but I don't know where. It could be in a box in the loft or something. I don't know. Actually, here's a proverb before I go. Up and down will make you smile if she is happy. If she is not, she'll make you froth and make you feel crappy.